Let me take you on a step-by-step guide on how I arrive at this. Hello my beautiful friends, let's cook jollof rice together. So I'll be using my chicken. As you see, I already added my spices and other stuff. So and then I will cover it to cook. What I added was chicken spices, my rosemary, my Maggi cubes and all of that. What I'm using is chicken wings. I love chicken wings a lot, so let's use that. So I cover up, and after heating up for some time, you can see the water was almost drying up. This is it. You can see with this way it's looking, all the nutrients from the steaming up have already entered. So I added a little bit of water because in as much as I want to steam it up, I'm still going to cook it properly. You understand? So I stir and stir, I cover it, and it was cooking. So this is me. This is what I will be using. This is tomatoes. This is fresh pepper. This is onions and shombo. It's another type of pepper. I love it so much. So what I did, I washed it and removed the seed from the center of the shombo pepper. You understand? So blending it with the seed can make your stew have some kind of taste, maybe bitter or something like that. You understand? So I don't like it. So I make sure I remove it. So this is my chicken broth which I've already cooked. So I'm adding my fish. I have one fish left at home, so I added it. So and I also cover it for the fish to steam up and receive that water broth inside, so it will be sweet on its own too. So next, I'm frying my chicken wings. This is it. I'm frying it this way so that it will have that frying kind of taste. I'm still going to add it to my I'm still going to sauce it with my blended pepper mix, you understand, which is the tomato, the onion, all of that I will still be using for my jollof rice. I'm still going to add it. I'm not going to fry it too much. I just want to have that brownish, a little bit of, you know. So that's what I'm doing here. After frying it like so, I'm going to set it aside. This is why I always like to cut my chicken wings into two, because of this thing you are seeing there. I find it very difficult to flatten the chicken to fry, so I cut it into two. So I set it aside. This is it. You see what I'm talking about, that brownish look. It's not too dried, but it's okay. That's my prawn also I will be using. So from the oil I used to fry my chicken, I'm going to add a little into my dry pot. This is the pot I used to cook the chicken and the fish. So I'm going to add a little. Then I'm going to pour down my blended pepper mix, you understand. I'm going to be frying that as well. So first I'm going to add my salt to taste, not too much because the chicken broth already have the spices, the salt, whatever, and all the sweetening, you understand. So I didn't add too much. Then I'll pour my blended pepper mix, the tomato that I was talking about. So I blended it smooth with my blender, then I pour it inside like so. Then I didn't add any other thing because I don't want the spices to be too much, adding too much maggi and all of that, because all I needed to fry to cook the jollof rice was already added into that chicken broth, you understand. So I didn't add too much. So I'm going to cover for it to fry and cook properly without spreading into the wall, staining everywhere. So after some few minutes I opened it, and this is it. So I stir it to make sure everything is okay. You can see the oil was already floating on top the tomato. So I added that chicken broth that had all the old spices, so that this point in time you have to add it so that you can add the sweetening and all those things into the tomato paste. And I'm still going to cover, and it is going to fry and cook for at least 5 minutes until that groundnut oil is now flowing on top the tomato paste, as you are seeing. So yeah, it just means it's properly cooked. You can see it. So that chicken that I fried, I'm going to add it inside this tomato paste that I've already fried, so that I will use it to fry it for some minutes, you understand. so that to look as if it's a sauced chicken. I don't want to do it raw, like just boiling without frying. No, I don't like the taste of that one. I like it this way. That's why I mentioned earlier I like to fry it a little, not too dry, not too raw. Or I don't want to say raw, like just cooked like that. No, I just want to fry it a little bit. Then I'm going to cover it so that the sweetness of the tomato will enter inside the chicken properly. Try and do it this method I'm using. Oh my god, you are going to love your chicken wings, your meats, your whatever you are going to use to be cooking your jollof rice. Instead of frying at the end of the day, after cooking your jollof rice, you just put it on top like that. No, if you try this method, you are going to love it. So I added a little bit of soy sauce to the frying of the chicken inside the sauce, inside the tomato paste, you understand, to give it some sweetness. So I was still frying it for some minutes. You didn't see that, so I have to hasten up the video, cut some part away so that the video will not be too long. So this is how I fry it. After some time, I'm going to sieve out the chicken that I used. I'm going to remove everything one by one properly, and to make sure that the tomato paste didn't follow the chicken too much, you understand. And there you see how I'm going to remove it. So I'm going to remove everything properly one by one, like so. Just do it this way. I'm also doing it, and you're going to see absolutely the same result, and the taste of it, oh my goodness, is so yummy. Like, you might, if care is not taken, you might even finish the chicken in the kitchen before the jollof rice is ready. That is how tasty it is, you understand. So yeah, so I'm going to remove everything like so. Then after removing it, the next thing I'm going to pour inside this place is my washed rice. I already washed it and drained it in a sieve, so I'm going to add it here. I'm going to use this tomato and sauce to fry the rice for like 5 minutes, you understand. I'm not going to add water yet, you understand. I'm going to use it to fry. Some people they use sometimes, not some people, sometimes I also do it that way. I use different methods to cook my jollof rice, and all the time they always come out with different unique taste, and it's very yummy. So this method today is what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to use that tomato to fry it. So you make sure that you are always stir frying it once maybe some minutes, so that the rice will not get burnt, you understand. So this is my sauce I was talking about. I'm just trying to show you. So I'm going to turn it. You see that the rice is not burnt, so that means I still need to, it's not dried, like it's not sticking to the pot yet, it's still moving freely, as you are seeing. So I need to fry it for like a few minutes. So I'll keep doing it this way. You keep stir frying consistently so that you not get burnt. So I will cover it again so that steaming will enter inside the rice properly. So I'm going to turn it, and you will see what I'm trying to do. You can see that it's getting sticky to the pot. So I'm going to add water at this point. Not too much water, so the water at least that will be able to cook the rice, not too cooked, not too hard. You know the measurement you're supposed to, depend on the kind of the amount of rice you are cooking, you understand. So if you notice very well, I didn't add any other spices like Maggi, whatever. Everything that I've already used to cook the meat, used to sauce the tomatoes, I don't need to put too much, you understand. So I added a little bit water to rinse the meat broth the chicken broth that I use. So the water is okay. Now I'm going to cover it, add a little bit of salt because it was not tasty enough. So that's all that I added. Then I'm going to stir a little bit again. Then I'm going to cover it up to cook, you understand. So yeah, that is it. This point, once you notice the rice is now boiling very well, you are going to reduce the heat. So this is it. I just added the chicken that I already fried and sauced with the tomato paste and the fish. I added it. If you see, look closely, you will see it's still boiling a little bit, so for you to notice the amount of a little water that is still in there. So I needed the tomatoes that was attached to the chicken to still wash down inside the rice. That's my prawn that I have. It was not many, I just added a little bit of it. So yeah, so I'm going to cover it a little bit, and by this time I opened it, it was very ready, you understand. So this is it. the aroma of this food, oh my god, it was very tasty, very very tasty. It's not the type that, if you notice that this rice, the pot is not too burnt, like to the extent that when you have to cook the rice will not be done properly because it already got burnt on the bottom of the pot. No, I make sure that I reduce the heat to a very medium rate. So this is it, guys. Thank you for watching always. I love you guys.